Hiya guys, as I've been requested to do a review on the Slingshot rifles. I'm using my own for this one. It's a Mark 1 Slingshot rifle. Mark 2 got some modifications, which is the ones I'm selling. So I'll show you the differences based on the Mark 1. The Mark 1, in my opinion, did have a lot of room for improvement. Like the mounting of the brackets on the front. I didn't think this was good enough. That has been improved on the Mark II. The Picatinny mount for the spot lamp on the front is exactly the same on the Mark II as the Mark I. Extension bar releases exactly the same on the Mark II as the Mark I. This has been improved, the front grip. It now locks in better, in my opinion. That's a better design. Trigger guard is now a better design. Mark 1 was a single piece design, quite cheap and nasty, could be broken. The new Mark 2 is a multi-piece design, which I'll show you now. It retains the same laser system, same rear mount, same trigger release mechanism, same ball bearing release mechanism. It does have facility now for mounting a DIY shoulder stock. I did design my own shoulder stock to go on. Couldn't get funding for it, so that's been scrapped. Trigger unit, okay. The new trigger handle. The new handle is a 3-part affair, which is much better, much stronger. So when it comes as a kit, it comes in 3 parts. Top unit, if I get right around the right way, because the first time I've done this myself, things already done, goes together thus. So top unit, bottom unit, all goes together, screws through, and that now screws up into there, whereas the old one was just 2 screws, and that was it done. But because this is now a multi-part construction and is layered and thicker, is much sturdier and much better grip for use. For those who want to order it without a trigger guard and pistol grip, I can do that, that's no problem. Because some people, they rather make their own out of wood. I think wood is a much nicer finish anyway, my opinion. And instead of having the separate foregrip, separate rear grip, you can make and mount it with a full piece stock, which I much prefer. I haven't got the skills to do it. What else can I tell you about it? Okay, when fitting the power bands, as you can see here, let's get it in the camera, V-notch by here. Your bands need to be done past here. I've only just got them placed in at the moment. The band needs to be down past you, otherwise when you stretch it back, it'll just pull straight out. Make sure you tighten the 4 screws at the front nice. Width of the band, as you can see, is a good 1.75 inches, maybe 2 inches in, yeah, about 1.75 inches in width. 1.7mm thickness. Here are the bands I supply, which are much thicker than your standard bands. If you want to double up your bands, you can do it, increase the power even further. Zero in. Best way to do it, both your extensions right in. Comes with the Allen key for the laser. Get your windage sorted first. Once you got your windage sorted, on a short range, say 5, 10, 15 yards, then you need to look at your trajectory ranges. Although it's extendable, goes out, I would say go to a range where you're comfortable using on successive mounts of shots to get your ranges. If you change the length of the extendable barrels for each shot, your point of impact will change for each shot. What you're better off doing, in my opinion, extend your barrels to a position you're comfortable with using. It's no good having it extended to a full 10 feet or wherever it is. I don't know, a 10 feet exaggeration, say 6 feet. And you can't pull the bands back. What's the point of that? You risk injuring yourself and risk damaging the weapon. You just extend to a range you're comfortable at and using on multiple shots, because you can see it does extend a hell of a way, a lot further than you could ever possibly reach. I extend it all the way out. You get some idea of how much extra reach you get. So here's your arm here, coming in, 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 and I've hit the wall on our side. It's about 2.5 meters, possibly 3 meters fully extended. If you've got the right bands on you, you got to have a hell of a piece of material on you to use on your hands. Silent-ish, at least no muzzle report. Now, what I recommend is when you extend it to the length you want it, mark it with a magic marker or black paint or something like that, as every time you fold it out, you go to the same length and your point of impact is going to be the same. And learn to use, as you would with an air rifle, learn to hold over to get your trajectories, because otherwise you're going to be redialing your sights for every shot. And it's going to be more frustrating and more antagonistic, and you're not going to get the enjoyment out of the slingshot. Mine myself is 0 at 25 yards. So I got 2 points of impact then, 25 yards and 45 yards. And at 45 yards when it's you know it. And as for these bands, like I said again, if you want to make longer custom bands, thicker, using the harpoon rubber, you can do. Other upgrades available. There's a fishing upgrade available for this. So you can fit off the Picatinny mount. You can fit a saddle for a fishing reel. And then with the bands, you can either use fishing darts or fishing arrows. Personally myself, I would sooner fishing arrows. You can rest them down in the V or make a little saddle to sit the slingshot in. To sit the arrows in, and have the launch from the back from a string type power band. So instead of having a saddle, a pouch in your power band, have a string to knock your arrow into and launch it from there at the rear. Build quality, it is nice and light. I think the front handle definitely could be better. I think it's a bit flimsy, it's a bit weak. That can be improved on. I'd suggest when you're putting yours together yourself, I'd use something like a good 2-pack epoxy. So once it's screwed together, arrowdite it and lock it in place. Upgrades available for the heads as well. So you've got a footrest extended from the side. So if you're in the bushes, you can just rest your foot on it, put it straight back, drop your ammunition in, you're ready to go. Again with the laser sights as well, you don't actually need the laser sight. It is good enough to use on short range using the sight mount and through the front forks as you would a traditional notch and post sight system. So you can shoot that way on short range. I think for the nature shooting you're going to do with this, I would say it would be more like reflex shooting, squirrels, things like that, rabbits. Either laser sight or a projection sight, what do you call it? Hollow sight. Either a hollow sight or the laser sight. Ideally is the best sighting system for this. You can't use a scope because you haven't got the correct eye relief. You can't use it as you would a rifle because you've got nothing in your shoulder to prevent your recoil. You've got danger of, there is some recoil with this, it can back into your eye socket. You can't use a pistol scope because you can't hold out far enough to get the correct eye relief for a pistol scope either. So hollow sight or a laser, they're generally your two options with this. You can fit a second laser underneath off your front sight, so it'll give you 4 points of impact, because you can have your trajectory curve. If you sight in at 10 yards, you'll have a second impact point at 35 yards. If you sight this one in at say 20 yards, you'll have a second impact point at 50 yards. You get the idea. Ammunition, I find that every ammunition works better with this Slingshot rifle, much better. Small ammunition like 9mm is like a fart in a thunderstorm. It's not worth it. You don't get the kinetic energy to deliver the shot. The heavier the shot, the better, I think. Right, sorry about that telephone call. Okay, yeah, so my recommendation for this, use the bands it comes with. The original bands it come with are really weak, incredibly weak. The cat just came downstairs. They're not worth a fart. So I supply it with my own power bands, which are much bigger and got more grunt, a lot more grunt than the originals. Best way to use this Slingshot rifle, go heavy or go home. Use lead, my personal opinion. Use large caliber, nothing smaller than 45, and double up on your power bands. You'll get considerable range. Can't see why you shouldn't easily exceed 60 foot-pound. Excellent piece of bug out kit. Very light. You're talking, it's an all aluminium construction. Nothing to it. The heaviest thing on you is the torch and the batteries in it. You can take the torch and all off. Four quick screws on the mount, and it comes off. And excellent. Use it for fishing, use it for hunting, use it for self-defense as a standoff weapon. If there's enough of you together, you could use it as an attacking weapon. Could be used as a club, I suppose. It's possibilities. Use your imagination. I think it's great. It's worth every penny. I'll put the link in the listing below. They are available from Chinese sources, but as you know from Alibaba, blah blah blah, you get crap warranty. At least I'm selling through eBay. You get a good warranty. I have had a couple which have failed, and that's only because they was put together by an idiot. And others which have tried to con me out of extra parts. I've been around the block. I'm also the UK dealer for Mankung, and I also design bolts for Elong Archery. So I'll give you some of my credentials. I'm not as dull as I look. So that's it for the Slingshot rifle. So I'll give you another quick look, because I got 2 minutes left on time. It's well built. These probably could be alloy instead of plastic, but it keeps the weight down, keeps the cost down. You could replace this with a wood grip, maybe a nice bit of mahogany or walnut. Same with the cap, same with the front grip. You could do something with that, or make a solid stock. But then you just add in weight. So there we are, Slingshot rifle. Thank you guys.